Right, and we are broadcasting
Hello.
on the internets.
Hola.
Hola, everyone. It is me, Brian,
And Sean.
and Sean drinking Keystone Light.
Oh my God. Why you gotta say it? Maybe they wouldn't be able to tell. It's all I
I
had.
had to bring it to. Well, you've been
all I
gone.
had.
You've been gone. It's okay to have Keystone Light if you've been gone.
Yeah.
It's allowed. It's completely allowed. Proto.
Hey.
By the way, what a good guy is he?
What a guy, yeah.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, he's alright. Just okay.
I mean, if
yeah,
you were like, "Hey, I need a fluffer today,"
Yeah,
you're like,
I
"Hey,
mean-
come on over here and touch my wiener." But
Yep. I'm glad we didn't run into him at PAX. I mean, I didn't want to
That
see him
would've
there.
sucked.
That would have sucked.
wow, that would have been awkward. That would have been real awkward. But speaking of PAX, that's what we're doing here.
That is what we're doing.
We're here to talk about our time at PAX, just everything we did.
Absolutely.
And, what we saw, what we're looking forward to, and then answer everybody's questions. And hello,
Chat's
everyone.
frozen on the stream there.
What?
Look at it. It's not moving.
It should be. I know
Anywho.
it's not. Come on now.
Well, Brian gets that all figured out.
I'm gonna get the burger out.
He's going to get that all figured out. So tonight we're going to be talking about all the things we saw at PAX, kind of our impressions of the rest of this year, going into next year.
Yeah.
Basically, the big con itself, how you survive it, all the things we saw, all the things we did. And, we're going to field some questions, too. So if anybody has anything they want to know how we felt about, they can ask us.
Because we're open like that.
We are, and as you've seen from a lot of our coverage, we're not really here to cover a lot of the stuff you can find everywhere.
Yeah, because we've already kind of talked about that before. That's a lot
Yep.
of the sites that are out there are going to cover the big stuff, the big news.
But that doesn't mean we don't have an opinion on it.
No, not
We
at
have
all.
quite a bit, and that's kind of what this venue is for. So we can, if you have any questions about how awesome Sony Smash Brothers was,
Oh God!
please,
Don't even.
please, I would love to talk about that game. Let me tell you, I felt a little bad after the level 7 cast went up, and they straight out just were like,
Right, they're
this
bagging
game
on it.
is terrible. And I was like, whoa now, can it really be that
Can
terrible?
it be that bad? Can it be that bad?
Can it be that bad? Well, we have
Well-
some choice words for that game.
Yes, it can be that bad. Actually, it can be.
So, yeah.
Okay, we got chat fixed. Chat is fixed. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, see, look at it.
I'm seeing...
Hey, guy in the hat. I heard you met that Cap Sanity guy. How was that? It was actually very awesome. I met Cap Sanity and Man.
Yep.
That was kind of hot actually.
Yeah.
And I met like those two people at once, and it was, I don't know, it's kind of bonerific.
As it should be.
Wonderful. So, Ivan from Rush, Cooking Unrelated, Simply TJK, thank you all for joining us.
Yep.
So let's start right off with, is PAX, just generally, is it worth it?
Oh my God, is it worth it?
Yes.
Every year, it's like the thing I look forward to. It's my Super Bowl, it's my Academy Awards, it's everything wrapped into one, and the whole experience. I mean, as you know, there are a lot of people that go that aren't even interested in games, and just just the whole feeling, the whole experience alone. It's completely worth it. It's completely worth it. So
I'd say it was my very first year, virgin experience. You took me along, and I didn't know what to think about it when you're flying up there. You don't really know what you're going to get into, but let me tell you, I'm going to PAX every year. I'm going this year. This year said, Brian, you will go to PAX every year, and you will not miss it. And my wife's just going to have to deal with it. So it's worth it, and it's, as you were saying, you hit it on the head. The camaraderie with people, talking with people, I'm very surprised just how out in the open these people, developers, designers, artists, musicians, they're just out there. You're like, hi, and they're like, hi, I'm badass, and you are talking to me, and you're like,
yes.
oh, hi.
I definitely, every year I tell myself I'm not gonna have one of those geek out moments. I'm not gonna run across somebody that I just totally fanboy out on, and every year I disappoint myself because it happens more.
It does happen
more and
often
more.
than not.
So yeah, my wife is gonna have to deal with it. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is the choice. Everybody in our families and in our lives know that when PAX comes, World stops.
Oh, by the way, they said that shirt is pretty great. Are they talking about your shirt or my shirt?
Is it the
It's gotta
Kirby
be
shirt?
his shirt.
Is it the
'Cause You don't
Kirby?
know what this is, but it's Kirby. Kirby.
Yeah.
Kev saying a true story. I met so many awesome people. It's crazy. The freaking developer for a huge game is just standing right there while you're playing their new game.
Yeah, I mean, first day on the floor, and I ran right over. I wanted to try out Colonial Marines. Really wanted to get my feel on Colonial Marines. And I'm just chatting with this guy. He's got the Sega badge on. Turns out it's the executive producer. He's just there, and he's like, "Hey, how do you feel about what we're doing right now?" And it just so happens that I've absolutely loved all of Sega's publishing choices lately. So I was like, "Producer, right on. You are the guy I want to talk to." And I mean, they're real approachable, even somebody like that. And
Which is, you would think would be somebody behind like this gated Pope Mobile. Like,
exactly.
JK,
I did take part. We both did.
We were part of the Kirby.
The Kirby adventure. As a matter of fact, this Kirby guy right here.
Yeah.
It was also a prize from the event for a trivia contest.
It was.
That I don't want to.
I don't want to toot my
I don't
own
want to brag
horn,
too much, but
I
yeah.
got everything right. I should have gotten all the Kirby's.
I got 3 of the Kirby's and gave 2 of them away.
I could never. There's a guy who's a really cool guy, but I could never get his throwing technique down because like one time, you would just blurt out the answer and he'd throw it right to you. But like one time you'd blurt out the answer and then he would point to somebody with their hands up and I'm going, "No, they didn't get it."
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Talbane, hey.
hurt.
Hello.
Talbane! Mr. Eric, thank you for joining us here for the PAX Cast. But how do you want to do this? Do you want to just talk about the days? Go through a day in the life of a PAXer, or just our general thoughts, or
Well, I think that because of how much you see and how much you do in every day, it kind of starts to blur together.
That's true. Yeah,
I think the best way to sort of talk about it is really just to kind of go over a lot of our highlights, the highs and the lows of the event, and then we can probably go into some of the special events we got into. Got to see. So we have a little special gift for all the people on the cast.
If you're watching now and you watch till the end, we have a special gift for you. Besides, we also have some giveaways too, as well.
We have good stuff, Cookie Army. These Kirby's were given away at the event to people who stood in line as long as we did, and that's one of the things you have to keep in mind in these events is if you wanted to even play the smallest game. I mean, a lot of times you were looking at a 2-3 hour line easy.
Dedication is key at this.
Absolutely.
Dedication.
I mean, it was, and there were some really bad choices, I thought, as far as the demos that a lot of people picked. The one that comes to mind immediately is the Resident Evil 6 demo. Resident Evil 6 demo, the line never looked very long, so people would get in that line full of hope and promise, and they would quickly be crushed because not only was it a single-player demo, which the game strongly focuses on
that
co-op.
blows me away. Why is that only single player? It doesn't make sense.
Right? Yeah. It was really, really disappointing. But even further than that, it was over a 20-minute long demo, which for that sort of event is ridiculous. I mean, everybody coming into this knows Resident Evil.
Well, and they actually did good on the Devil May Cry one because they actually put a sign up. Mm-hmm. They said this is a 20-minute demo. It's going to take 20 minutes. So every person you see in line ahead of you, just add 20 minutes to your time. But Resident Evil, they didn't do that.
No, and they only had like 4 instances of the game playable for like a blockbuster title like that. Now, I wasn't so worried about it because we got to play the demo. It was packed in.
Yep.
And then the demo isn't far, and even more so, the game isn't far.
Yeah, so they still got a long way to go. So it sadly wasn't enough to play to get excited about. Really.
No, but it's out in like October. I'm not really that worried about it. It's the same deal with Borderlands. I wasn't that interested to get in line for Borderlands when it's out so soon. And don't get me wrong, I love Borderlands. I will be there day one to pick it up. But with PAX, you really have to pick your battles.
See, and that's what I agree with you there. When they had Borderlands 2, they had this huge, amazing statue. Yep. I mean, they spent some bucks on this, but I thought it was almost a bad choice to spend that much money because the game's about to come out. Any bit of hype they're going to squeeze out of PAX now I don't think was worth their bucks because it's almost out.
Well, and last year they actually had an amazing event lined up for that. Not only did they have a great booth, a booth that I thought was even better than this year's, but they also at their panel where they talked, they gave everyone in the audience a free copy. And this was one of the larger rooms, and yeah, they gave everyone a copy. So coming out of that, the hype train for Borderlands was huge. I mean, they accomplished everything they could get out of PAX, I thought, last year.
Right.
I mean, they really did. And I thought that Gearbox's best assets were used for Colonial Marines, and while I understand it now, I was very upset that the new Brothers in Arms wasn't there. But I don't know if you've seen the news on that.
Well, and you were talking. I remember actually one of the things I was looking forward to was looking at Brothers in Arms because you had talked about it so much.
Furious
and
4
really,
is. I'm telling you, go check it out. It's one of the coolest games ever. But it's changing its name.
But it's changing its name. It's now what?
I don't believe that they've actually straight given the name yet. But because it is so different, and that's the hurdle I've had because I came back from the Gearbox Community Day going Brothers in Arms Furious 4 is amazing. And
right.
Everybody's like, is it like a COD clone? Like what could be great about it? But it couldn't be further from the truth.
That's a tough hurdle to overcome when you have a game like Brothers in Arms. That might be a smart move. If they get a good enough title, that may be a smart move to make it a little more different because from what you told me and I've seen, the gameplay is so far separated from anything Call of Duty.
Yep.
I think Brother in Arms just makes it sound like a Call of Duty wannabe.
No, yeah, I would liken it more to something like Left 4 Dead meets Bulletstorm is really the way that I would say it. The real tongue-in-cheek humor and everything of Bulletstorm with like the point system, but with the squad-based gameplay that Left 4 Dead has. So yeah, those games definitely deserved the assets and that
Landon, welcome.
They wasted on Borderlands. Yes, hello Landon.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola, senor. It's Boomsy's Landon. I just Landon.
Yeah.
Boomsy's Landon.
Jeez.
Because we wouldn't know who he was. We're like, is this Landon? Is this like Landon Calrissian? Is this Landon?
Landon Calrissian.
Landon Calrissian. Yeah. So let's go for what was okay. Let's just say overall favorite game of PAX. You went to PAX. Favorite game.
And just was super blown away by a game.
Whatever it was, whether it was a game you're looking forward to or not. You went to PAX and you left said, that's it. That's the game that will come out tomorrow. If all these games come out tomorrow, get in that game.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously, if you've been on the site a lot and if you've talked with me, you know that I love Monaco, which is a game. We just put out a really great article today. We got a lot of exclusive news on that game.
Yeah, you guys, I was reading over some of that stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know anybody else who's reported on this like Sean has.
Let me tell you, these guys are close friends of mine. I've seen them every year. I chat with them online, and they gave us some great details.
Really good people, too. Really honest, just good. We're glad to have people come in. We're glad to talk to us, and it was an honor to be able to talk to them.
Exactly. But that is not the game I'm going to pick because it's unfair.
That is not, because
it's totally
you
unfair.
Don't really feel...
Yeah, no.
It's been around so much.
Yeah.
This is like this year's.
Exactly. That would be like saying my favorite game of PAX was the new Zelda that'll eventually come out. It's coming out. I know it's there. So my game actually goes to my biggest surprise game, which was the Adventure Time 3DS game.
3DS, yes.
I am telling you right now that game, they are getting everything right on it. The game follows, it's very self-aware of itself, so it has all the humor that Adventure Time has, but more importantly, it has great gameplay. And being a video game, they break that wall of gameplay mechanics very often. And I would actually liken the game to, and I know there's a lot of haters on it, but I'd liken it to all the best parts of Zelda 2, Adventures of Link. It has the side-scrolling combat mechanic, the top-down world where you have the shadows moving around, and when you hit them, it goes into the combat scene. So it also sort of like Tales of Phantasia in its combat mechanics. Yeah. But I'm telling you that the animation is spot on, the gameplay is spot on, which you don't normally see in these kind of games.
Right, it's just kind of crapped out, especially a licensed one on it.
I'm telling you, it is great. Yeah, it does sort of play like Nelda 2. Yes, plays just like Nelda 2.
Does it have error?
I didn't get that far. I didn't. Who knows? You'll have to play it and find out. So I'd be surprised though with all of the references to Zelda 2 that it has, if it didn't have something like that.
That's true.
So what do you think?
I do want to take the easy route and say Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I want to take the easy route, and that is. Before PAX, it was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Before PAX, but I went to PAX and I played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and the great thing about that game is I played it and I said, this plays exactly like I knew it was. And I played it and I said, yes, it's right here. This is where I had it, and I went and it's where it's at. Project P100 was a game that was here, and I'm like, what's this going to be like? And I played it at PAX, and it went up to here. Because that game is... As far as the gameplay, how the Wii U remote works, in tandem with everything, and just the possibilities that game has to offer, it was the game that I'm most excited for coming out of PAX because it is a whole new kind of idea of game, and everybody who looked at it gave it this Pikmin dismissal. Oh, it's Pikmin. It's not Pikmin.
No,
at all.
not at all.
The only thing Pikmin about it is there's a lot of characters on the screen at once.
Yeah, P100. That's what we're talking about.
Project P100.
Yep. And you're gonna find out real quick, guys, that we came back from this with about the highest regard for the Wii U possible.
I'm
telling you right
agree.
now, it's if there was a company, and I hate to skip ahead, but if
Go ahead.
if there was a company that really just brought their A game, it was Nintendo. And that was the thing too, is that this was their chance to really sell the hardcore, most vocal gaming audience on this device. And the whole vibe of the entire conference was very pro Nintendo.
It was, yeah.
I didn't see people walk away from it going, it wasn't what I wanted, or it didn't deliver. Yeah, oh man. Between the 3DS offerings, Luigi's Mansion, which I know a lot of our group really loved. I loved it. I thought Luigi's Mansion on 3DS was great. And a lot of the offerings they had there on that, and every Wii U game I played, I just felt like was improved so greatly by the controller.
And it didn't feel like I was actually excited to see a lot of the games on the Wii U. I didn't feel like implemented, besides Zombie U, which Zombie U is cool, but you can definitely tell they developed the game with the Wii U in mind.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We want to show the Wii U off. But I think a lot of the other Wii U stuff, like Project P100 is a perfect example of, you have a bottom screen, and all it does, which you can also supplement it with the right analog if you'd like, is to draw a gun shape, a circle, or a sword for your secondary weapon.
Sure.
So it never felt like, oh gosh, I got to use this bottom screen. You only felt like, oh wow, cool, I can use the bottom screen.
JK, I totally agree with you. The reason why I say they bring their A game is there is a lot of scrutiny. You know, a lot of the popular thought is, you know, sometimes they focus too much on the casual market during their E3 conferences and things like that. There's no denying my love for Nintendo, and I would say it almost borderlines on a bias.
Well, I would
but
say as somebody who I very much enjoyed the Wii, but the Wii was hey, great GQ, thank you for joining us. We are honored, good sir. They didn't bring their big A game to E3.
See, I sort of agree with you, and I sort of disagree with you. You know, the big problem that everybody had was that they focused so much on Nintendo Land. And they didn't leave. They didn't leave a good punch at the very end. And Reggie almost made it seem like it. He's like, "Oh, by the way, here's more Nintendo Land footage." But let me tell you something. We got to sample all the games that were available on Nintendo Land, and they were all fantastic.
By the way, see you later, Nash.
They were so much fun.
That was actually really surprising too. We played that Ghost mini game.
Yeah, the Luigi's Mansion game.
The Luigi's Mansion game.
Which, to preface it, it's sort of like Pac-Man Versus.
Right.
Where you have one Ghost and 4 Luigis. The Ghost is actually controlled on the controller, the screened controller. And you actually, you hover around invisible and actually have to try and pull the Luigis. And the Luigis have a flashlight with limited power, and they actually have to go and try and capture the Ghost. So the idea, the meta of the game is actually trying to convince these Luigis to actually pull apart and separate and kind of cause a panic and actually take everybody away. And the Luigis actually can sense you with a rumble ability.
Right.
And you can actually see your area of effect on your screen as the Ghost.
So you have to be careful about where you go at.
But you can play it to your advantage as well. So I would use my rumble to sort of, why don't you come on over here? And that little blue Luigi or whatever, he'd head off.
Dude, okay, first of all, you should have seen this guy. Like, we literally get into a game. It's me and 3 other people versus him. He is balling, dude. He is, like, I don't know if there's record times they had, if they wrote it down, but if they did, he would have the top 10. Because I think it's like a 3-minute time limit.
Yeah.
It's like 2 minutes, 20 seconds maybe. We're all dead. Then I get the control thinking, oh, I could do this. Literally, we get down to like 5 seconds, and they kill me finally. Because Sean, like, united them together because he's pretty boss.
JK, actually, Namco Bandai has been absent almost every year. The only presence they actually had last year was really weird. They didn't have a booth, but they had a Splatterhouse like Humvee that was driving around like throwing Splatterhouse shirts out, and then they hosted a party. But traditionally, both Namco Bandai and Konami are generally not present for PAX, and I'm not sure what it is. Like maybe they just care more about Tokyo Game Show, which is not far off. You see, it's kind of wedged between Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show. So it's
that's where it's. Konami this year wasn't Konami. Konami was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. There was no Konami booth, which, in a way, I was actually okay with because it's Konami admitting we're not going to try to fill our booth with Silent Hill Mobile or any of this BS. This is the game we're all looking forward to. We'll put all of our money into it, and I think it worked.
Yeah, I agree with you, but they do have some titles that it's almost like they just expect them to fail. Which the one I'm specifically thinking of is Silent Hill Book of Memories, which I'm not saying is a good game,
Right.
but that is a game that has a lot of scrutiny, and if they're going to sell them on that, not only does the Vita need more games to sell itself with anyway, but that would have been a great opportunity. Just throw a console up that has Silent Hill Book of Memories on it or something.
Okay, so Cookie Army is saying, I kind of want to go for the Pro controller for the Wii U. I love the screen, but it ain't no VMU, and I know it's going to be used for BS reasons a lot of the time. Well, and that's something I want to go back to with the Wii. Are there games that use the Wii and the Wii Motion for gimmicky, stupid reasons? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Will there be games that use the Wii U screen for BS reasons? Yes. But it's like every other system we've played. It's like the 6-axis with PlayStation 3. It's like the Kinect. Every system's had a gimmick. The problem is as a people, as a gamer, we have to critically look at these games and say, what are the good ones and what are the bad ones? To judge all the good games as just automatically bad because, well, some bad games use this Wii U. To me, I think it's just a faulty argument.
I think you could agree with me as well that they had a good gambit of games available. They had very casual games like Nintendo Land or Scribblenauts.
Yeah.
And then they had games that focused on the eccentric audience like P100. And then you had the hardcore audience with Zombie U and Ninja Gaiden
3.
And let me tell you something.
By the way, yeah.
Every one of those games, you could tell me, and I'm sure you would agree, they all used the Wii controller very well.
And surprisingly minimally.
Yep. Yeah. But
I never played.
But
I never played it and went, oh gosh, I have to do this. I'm hoping, and I think Nintendo has learned that lesson from the Wii, that you cannot implement something just to implement it. You got to implement it with a purpose and a reason behind it.
Algebraic, welcome.
Algebraic, Riz, you guys should be ultra excited for Thursday morning, right?
Yes, we are. It's pretty much expected that that'll be where they announce the date and the price point for the Wii U.
Yep.
And already, I believe that some places are taking reservations on a lot of the games. So the hype is already starting. I'm actually surprised it's been this late because I still expect it for that late October, early November launch point.
Well, but you know how quickly the 3DS was announced price-wise and how quickly it came out.
This is a console release, though, Brian. And
That's
you're
true.
talking about a big investment for money. I mean, I expect...
Okay, then the question is, what do you expect the Wii U to be at? And would you pay for it?
Okay, well, price point-wise...
$599.
US dollars.
US dollars.
Now, as far as a price point... You know, Nintendo has never really strayed far from the $250, $300 price point.
Yeah.
I think if they were going to, this would be the time. And I think if they do, they'll also pack in a game. I think Nintendo Land would be a great candidate for that. Which, by the way, I can't stress enough that it really is a great Substance game.
It's a great, and you know what, too? I know a lot of people are making iterations to Wii Play or Wii Sports. I would really put it above that because
far above.
Wii Play and Wii Sports were demos for the system to say, this is what the system can do. But I would play Nintendo World by itself as a standalone game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And those mini games, and I only got to play. I played that, the Animal Crossing, and then there's that Donkey Kong, and that's just a few of them. And if they implement all the Wii's and the interactions and the online abilities, hopefully, then
all of it is great. But I'm expecting the $299 price point. I'm thinking that the actual controllers themselves, and I've heard this number before, so that's probably where I'm pulling it from. But I'm expecting $79.99 for the actual controllers.
Which really isn't bad.
Really
who
isn't.
were we talking with about that? We were talking to somebody about new controllers.
And they were like, no less than 100. No less than 100 on these controllers.
Right. And you look at like a PlayStation DualShock 3. What do those run? Those are $60.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, putting a screen on something.
Riz, by the way, this is United States money.
This is American dollars.
American monies because
no Australian.
The market is so sporadic as far as when you come to the other markets, and it sucks. It really does. And you guys get the short end of the stick, man. I would never buy a video game in Australia. Never would.
I feel really bad. That's just it's a bad deal with all the.
Yes, JK, they are still the DualShock 360 or PS3 controller is still that up there. But that's what I'm expecting for the price. What I would pay though, I'm telling you right now, I'm a whore. I'm a dirty whore, and I would pay Probably anything. I would still. There's a point where I'd begrudgingly pay.
Right, you'd be like, oh
Like,
god, I can't believe I have to
about
pay this.
400 no game, and they're gonna get a sort of frumpy showing.
Well,
but
and I hope they learned their lesson from the 3DS. Because when the 3DS first came out, they said everyone's excited about it. We can charge whatever we want, and then everyone said, no, actually you can't. And then Nintendo said, oh, sorry, we were kind of a dick about that. Let's just charge a normal price. And then 3DS sold really well. So
though, I bought it day one, and I feel like it was worth it. I feel like that the hardware is worth that cost. Some people
I feel
didn't.
I feel the Wii U, as far as launch titles, has been the first system I've really been excited about to this extent since the GameCube-ish era.
Yeah.
It's really, it's the Wii did not come out with a bang.
No.
The Wii came out like, oh, that's cute, huh?
No, it's though. Also, let's not downplay the graphics because, to be very honest, I was impressed. Like, one of the games that I put it under a lot of scrutiny was Nintendo Land, because here we have a gambit of lots of different art styles, and these are Nintendo's core games. And like games like Animal Crossing, you saw it looked woven. It sort of reminded me of like Yoshi's Story. Like everything looked sewn together, and you could see the threads and the detail. And then like Zelda, the Zelda minigame that we got to play.
Yep.
Everything looked amazing. It really did. It was all down to the finest detail. It was crisp, and you could tell that it had that Nintendo quality on it. It really did.
Oh, JK, I bought the 3DS on day 2 to play Mega Man Legends 3. Sadly, the miracle never happened. And Yeah, I mean, graphics-wise, and I've said this before a lot of times, but I think we're hitting a graphic fidelity. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to get to the point with the next gen where we're going to go, gosh, the Wii U graphics are just unplayable. They suck. I can't touch this anymore. I mean, people are still playing Wii games.
Yep.
And that's technically really, really Xbox-ish
Exactly.
high-res graphics. And we're not even into high def on that system.
Well, and Nintendo definitely went for an art style with that, with games like Kirby's Epic Yarn and the watercolor-ish.
You got another shirt like.
Well,
Everyone loves the Kirby. I thought about wearing Kirby, but you know what? I knew you were going to be wearing yours. I had a feeling. I was like, Sean's going to... I can't wear Kirby. I look like a tool if I wear Kirby and he's wearing Kirby.
Yeah, we look like a cult. Which is a good cult. If you're going to get on board for any cult, it's the cult of Kirby.
The Kirby cult.
The Kirby cult. It's kind of tricky. It's a tricky wiki one.
What's another K letter we can put in there so we can just have a misnomer with the KKK?
I don't know that I want that.
The cuddly Kirby cult.
But you have KKK. You're using like Ed Boon logic where everything's with a K. It's
well,
like
nowadays,
yes,
it's Mortal...
The Ed Boon logic.
Yeah. Kirby Combat.
Kirby
I would
Combat.
definitely do that. I'm late. Has a price been set for the Wii U? No, there has not been, but we're talking about the possibility.
Absolutely, yeah. They are having a conference on Thursday where they are going to, God forbid, I hope, blow the lid open on all that. They need to have dates. They need to say what definitively is coming at launch, and because people need to start preparing. I mean, I am expecting to spend probably around $500 to $600 at launch, and that's including games. Because again, I'm a tool. I mean, I had like 4 games at Wii launch. What did I have there?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to a guy who I bought Samurai Warriors on 3DS. I never liked those games. I bought Ghost Recon, which was great. Pilot Wings.
Yeah.
Street Fighter on 3DS. I just go all out. So
Kirby equals Cthulhu for kids.
there you go.
Essentially. So yeah, besides of course Wii U that we saw, I don't even know how we got on. We just were like Wii U.
It was just how Nintendo really knocked it out.
Well, I think we can talk about moving on to some of the booth and some of the publishers. Who did we love? Who weren't we excited about? And who did we just say, oh God, why did you even come to PAX?
Sure. Well, in our group of guys who all went,
right?
You know who we heard the most? Sega.
Yeah.
Sega.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, many people actually said that Sega brought it the best. They actually had the best all around, and they did have a great gambit of games. I mean, you saw a lot of publishing good calls like The Cave.
The Cave.
Ron Gilbert's game, which a lot of those guys subsequently said was their favorite game of PAX. Which I thought was a phenomenal game. As a matter of fact, I got to meet Ron Gilbert. Geeked out like a big tool bag.
What was funny is he didn't really geek out. Like, he was excited. He's like, oh, hey, Ron, I'm really excited. But he kept it in. But the second Ron was out of sight, he's skipping like a little schoolgirl, like, yay! And, yeah, he was very excited.
It was pretty bad. Dude, GQ, PSO2 is really great, but I'm completely with you on Dragon Quest X, which Square Enix is frontlining on the Wii U for Tokyo Game Show. So we're going to get just chock full of it. But I am so tired of hitting Justin TV to get all my Dragon Quest fix. Dragon Quest is a grind game. I shouldn't have to watch 20 hours of it to get my fill.
I would agree, yeah. Well, and Sega did... they had, of course, Phantasy Star Online 2.
And you
which
guys...
they had just ended the Phantasy Star Universe servers, which Evil Toasty Bagels had an article up there about his sadness about the death of that. Which that looks cool, but it is interesting growing up with Sega, seeing Sega as a publisher, really. Yeah. As far as the games that are coming out, they've got Sonic 2 and a lot of ports, Knights, but there's not a lot of original content. They are mainly having a lot of great publishing decisions.
But though, it really has always kind of been that way. I mean, outside of Sonic, a lot of their great decisions in the Genesis era was really snagging like the EA Sports licenses,
well, the EA Sports,
which followed into
like
Dreamcast
Streets of Rage,
era.
Golden Axe, Altered Beast. Sega was that arcade company who took hang on the arcade games and put them at home.
Sure,
but now they don't really have that same kind of power.
They didn't have the brands that a lot of these companies did.
Phantasy Star Online 2!
It is a really great game. Phantasy Star Online 2 is so solid. I got about to level 20 on the Japanese servers before they kicked me off.
And I played that there at PAX, and it feels almost Monster Hunter-esque in a lot of the elements, so we're kind of advancing, which is nice to see it move on to.
But with much better, like that Phantasy Star control mechanics. It's not, when we say Monster Hunter, a lot of people go immediately to the very clunky, punishing controls. They're very punishing. If you swing bad, you've got like 10 frames of just death. However, with this, you have that real tight Phantasy Star control, which is pretty good.
Question: are we ever going to see Phantasy Star 5? I had Asbach actually act that on the website, which I thought was a good question. Are we ever going to see a classic Phantasy Star 5, or is Sega at such a point where they're limited in what they can do?
I think so. I really think so. I think that it's an inevitability that we will. However, I could see it more than likely launching on a handheld console. It would be quite a gambit. There are a lot of people who think very fondly of Phantasy Star, but I guarantee you, if you got down and asked them, which ones did you play? Name a character from a Phantasy Star game. A lot of them wouldn't. It's just a name that people have stuck with, that think very fondly of.
Like it.
And would they be willing, when the time comes and the game launches, to put their money where their mouth is?
Well, it's like the E series. I think the E's has had a very successful run on the PSP. I've really enjoyed it. So if they put the original Phantasy Star on like the PS Vita or the 3DS, I could see it doing fairly well.
So I think that it will exist. It will come. Don't worry, everyone. I'll shout real loud and maybe Sega will hear me.
Really? You think they have that?
Actually, a lot of their community developers, are really great guys to talk with. And so they listen, and they are a very vocal audience. At the Phantasy Star Online booth, they were all very receptive to people's complaints and decisions. And even during its first stages in the beta phase, they drastically changed a lot of the gameplay mechanics. So Sega can't afford to just be pig-headed on this. They need to listen to the fans and create the game everybody wants. Or make the Dreamcast 2.
The Dreamcast 2. It's like put Half-Life 3 on Dreamcast 2, and Sega will just money will fall from the heavens.
It's funny, that was almost like a joke at PAX. Whenever I really drill into people about a launch date on a game, hey, when are we going to see this port, or when are we going to see this? They're like, oh yeah, it's still in works. We have it scheduled to try and coincide with the Half-Life 3 launch. And these are the developers.
Exactly.
It's just a flat-out joke for them.
It's the Duke Nukem Forever of PAX this year.
And that was what they'd say too. They're like, God, I can't use Duke Nukem Forever. Half-Life 3. When that comes out, so you can go on to GameFAQs, and there's just a big block of games coming out, and it just Half-Life 3 is right in the middle of it.
Stuck in there. A company, I wanted to kind of move on to Capcom. Mm-hmm. One of the other people who, all in all, I will say I won't say disappointed, but I was kind of meh about Capcom. Because you talked about they had Resident Evil 6, not multiplayer, not very much.
No, keep talking. I'd like to talk about Capcom as well. Please go ahead.
You couldn't resist it, could you?
Just please finish.
You couldn't resist it. I automatically, I assume there's some bias in these comments. I automatically assume there will be bias. Put Put the Mega Man hat on Kirby.
Put the Mega Man hat on Kirby. Okay. Anywho, yeah, no, I sort of agree with you, but I almost feel like they didn't have a lot. I mean, they needed to prove to people that Devil May Cry was good,
Which it was better.
Yep.
It was definitely better. Oh, look at that. Kirby with Mega Man.
Kirby
Oh,
Man.
Kirby Man. There you go. There he is.
There he is. So
Mega Man Kirby. That should have happened in Brawl.
it really should have.
Yeah, they just essentially. I felt like they coasted through.
Mm-hmm.
We had Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, which we already knew about. We got to play those games. Cool.
Okami HD.
Okami
Everybody
HD,
loves Okami. It's really pretty.
It's very pretty, but again, it's another game. Lost Planet 3, which looks cool.
I'm excited.
It's
It's not Lost Planet 2.
No,
and
it's
I
not
love Lost Planet 2.
Resident Evil 6. And then Devil May Cry, which was better than I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But again, nothing at the Capcom booth made me go, that is a game I want to buy a day of. It's just like, hey, that's cool. I'm interested to see how it works out when you have more for me.
See,
It just was very underdeveloped, I felt.
all of those games are games I'm going to buy. You know, like, they weren't anything I really needed to see. It sort of fell into that Borderlands category where it was
Right.
like, I'm not going to wait in line to see Borderlands. I'm not going to wait in line for Assassin's Creed 3. I love Assassin's Creed 3. I've been feeding every morsel of detail we could get. And once the rumblings kind of get around during PAX that, like, oh, this event has exclusive material, then you kind of want to see it. But from what we heard about Last of Us and Assassin's Creed 3 was that the content was very similar to what you saw. As a matter of fact, Last of Us was literally a walkthrough of the same demo they showed at E3.
Exactly. See, and that's where...
And you're talking about like a 4-hour line for
anybody that shows at PAX, there's no reason you should be showing the same older stuff we've already seen. The point of PAX is to get the gamers and the core group of people excited about what you're coming out with and blow them away with something they've never seen before. And that's where I felt Capcom failed. Now, Capcom didn't fail as far as the games. They just fell as far as, I felt, bringing some sense of excitement. Whereas the Nintendo booth with Project P100 and all these other games, I felt had more of a synergy to it.
You know what is interesting, though, is there's a bit of a psychology to PAX. And I think that this is where Capcom really failed. Capcom, I think that they didn't succeed at bringing the hype because their booth was wide open.
Yeah,
This is
it
a
was
thing.
wide
You see,
open.
with a company like Nintendo, you're gonna and showing off a new console, you want your booth wide open,
Right.
Because you want to see people playing with the controller. You want to see their reactions. You want to look over there and go, "Am I going to sit through this line because I'm not even sure that I want to buy this console,
Right.
let alone the game."
So you want as much exposure as possible.
But with a game, though,
spread those legs open.
with a game though, you're like, there's this enclosed box and this line that seems to block out the sun.
That's
and you're
why
like,
I think people
oh
are
my
excited
God.
for Assassin's Creed 3.
Yep.
That monolithic. There's a monolithic black wall with the Assassin's Creed 3 logo. I'm not even excited about it, but I saw that I was like,
JK,
at my childhood look, that looks cool.
But what I mean by booth wide open is that a lot of times at these conventions, you have to go into an enclosed area. They'll even have it like doored or walled off.
With booths wide open on
Oh God!
under the PAX Prime.
So
Welcome to Assassin's Creed. I'll show you. Okay, I'm sorry.
But yeah, so when you have those enclosed presentations or enclosed experiences, it becomes that much more appealing. You feel like it's a very personal experience. But everything that Capcom had, it was like wide open. You could see the screens from
That brings a
away.
little excitement. Like, what's behind there?
Exactly.
Oh, I gotta see. So, I think if they had done that with Resident Evil 6,
Yeah, well,
that would have been great. If they would have had this really kind of interesting, huge display where you would have gone in, it would have been like, what is this? Well, I gotta see what Resident Evil 6 is about. It's like gated off.
yeah, that was the best way that I would liken that is to the experience that everybody had with Epic Mickey last year. You had like a 4-hour line for Epic Mickey, and it was a wide open booth, so you just sat and watched people play the demo for 4 hours. So by the time you get up there, you're like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Like, I really don't want to do this. And so you had the same thing happen with Resident Evil, as people were like, they would get through an hour of this line and be like, I know where everything is going to be in this demo. I'm done.
Yeah.
Then you take it. It's like something like Last of Us. They got this enclosed box door. They count the people before they head in, and then you are cut off. You don't know what's going on in there, and it's just But then you get in there, and it's like you just watch somebody else play.
And that's what it is. It's the whole. It's about presentation.
Yep.
That's really that's what PAX is about, and that's where I think the companies and the games we were most excited about had great presentation. And that's really actually where a game like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, I think, succeeded in the fact it was very open. But that's a game where you really have to hold it and play to understand how. Because you'll see them doing it, and you're like, like, how does he do that cutting up? And then I played it and I go, okay, that's how the analog stick works or whatever.
Exactly, JK. Presentation was really the problem. So all of those games I saw from Capcom, I want to buy, and I thought that they were great games. I thought that even these games, they've beaten these franchises to death.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really interesting gameplay mechanics they added. It's just that as far as its presentation at PAX, it was just a little weak. It had a strong presence, but it didn't...
Really cool posters for Marvel's Capcom Origins.
Oh, Jesus. The posters were great. The swag was good from them. It's just that it wasn't as alluring and enticing.
Although one of the most pain pieces of swag to pack was that Okami hat. You could never pack it right.
Yeah.
It's this hat that went around, so you either had to like lay it wide out, which you couldn't do that. You couldn't have a suitcase for that, or you had to like fold it around or like fold it flat.
And it was paper. It was a paper like Amaterasu, and you flapped around and you hooked it on.
Not the best, because you want to bring swag home. You need to make it portable, not portable swag.
No Valve news. Yeah, Valve wasn't there at all. They had no presence. Actually, they had more presence from people trolling. There were a lot of Half-Life 3 shirts with dates on the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, they did.
That's funny.
And they were just out there just trolling. And you'd hear the buzz. You'd be waiting in line for something and be like, dude, there was a guy that walked by. Did you hear about it? And it grapevines up to like the point where it was like Gabe Newell walked by and told me the date.
Came down from the heavens and told me about Half-Life 3.
Yeah, he had a computer strapped to him, like Typing of the Dead style, and I played it.
Brian, did you see Ari Blog's video of the swag whore?
The swag hole.
I did not see. I do not know of any swag whore. Although we have some swag. And,
I think now is a good time to throw the first bit out.
I think we should. Although, what should it be?
Okay. This is what we'll do.
Okay.
We sort of hinted at it at the very beginning, but what I want is the first person in chat.
Wait, now, we should put this in chat.
Yep. Type it.
Type it in chat.
So I'm gonna whisper it.
Okay.
First person to guess our least favorite.
Oh, each of ours.
I think we both agree.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, we're gonna type it up. Our first game will be typed in chat.
Okay.
Because of the lag.
Okay.
So
let's see here.
What we're gonna be giving away actually is an exclusive beta code into the new Ratchet and Clank game. This will get you right into it and enable you to play right away. So very cool.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, going to be a
little gift from Sony to our fans.
There you go. And the question has been typed. It is there.
Yep.
Answer the first person
to name our least favorite game.
Oh, cheater!
Yep.
Landon, what are you doing?
Landon cheats.
You hacked.
Cheater. You know what? Let's give it to both of them. Let's give it to Landon and JK.
We have a code for Landon. We have a code for. I almost said a load for JK.
We have a load for JK.
We have a load for JK. That's something different. We have two codes here. I'm not gonna show here. And
I didn't get the Parappa shirt. That was Ryan who got it.
There you go. There's here. These is for Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault,
which is a very inappropriate name.
Brian, you and I are going to team up on Landon again. Yes, we will. So we have those two for.
Landon doesn't want the gift, so he doesn't want to take it. Do you want to? We've got it set aside for you. You can have one if you
set aside
if you like. It's
I like how he dicks people over. He's like, yeah, I just dicked you over, but I don't even want it.
JK, there was a quasi Parappa shirt. It was a PlayStation All Stars shirt.
So you would have would you have felt cheated?
Yeah. So wasn't that great, which leads us into the absolute blunder that was PlayStation All Stars, which I will probably just refer to as Sony Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
because it just sounds good. Let me tell you something. There is very few things that game actually succeeded at, and I hate to be that kind of guy. And if you know me, I typically will find good in any game. I mean, I really do. But there was just fundamentally so many things broken about that game. I mean, I guess they got the character models right. I mean, they looked okay.
Okay, I will say is what's really funny is it takes a special team of people. I watched the new trailer for Raiden, who's going to be in the game.
Who was playable there,
But what was really funny is when you saw his animation and his little startup, I'm awesome, I'm right, or whatever. I don't know how you can take a character that's animated so well in his own game and animate him like ass in another game. Which I'm going like, Platinum gave you the resources. They're like, here's our character. Don't screw it up. And they're like, okay.
See, Cookie Army, I agree and I disagree with you. Yeah, there are a lot of mature guys. Like you've got the, Sweet Tooth and stuff like that. But you do have like Fat Princess. You've got Spike from Ape Escape. You've got Forsyth from Medieval. And those were the guys like I immediately went to. And like we're playing with everybody and they're like, I want to be the Hellgate guy or the Hellgast guy from whatever, Resistance or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no way, dude. I want to be Forsyth from Medieval, man. This is going to be awesome. And I'm telling you, the game is just so clunky. Like the Fat Princess is the... it was a downloadable title. Sort of made second party. Really fun game for the PlayStation 3. But that's sort of another point. Well, it is, but it's kind of a silly game. I mean...
Well, yeah, it's serious but silly. The main character is silly.
Yeah, and the art style is silly. I mean, we're not talking about like Yoshi or anything,
No.
but you had Sackboy, and you had a lot of lighter characters, but the real problem with the game is that the core mechanic of the game, which is... for those of you who don't know, it plays very much so like Smash Brothers, but instead of like trying to ring out people, what you're trying to do is actually hit the enemies enough to build up a power gauge, kind of like a super meter.
Right.
And there are 3 different levels of super meter for every single person, and they'll have a special attack. And the special attack is what kills them. You can't kill an enemy really any other way.
Right.
There's a couple stages where you can sort of like knock them off an edge, but it doesn't give you any bonus. So you're trying to like build up that meter and use your special attack and kill as many people as you can with it. And that will give you a positive number and therefore the other person a negative number. The problem with this is that it trivializes so many of your moveset. Like all of the moves, really. And you'll soon discover that there's like 2 moves that really just gain enough power.
You just focus on those ones that... Because there's no real strategy behind it. You're just saying...
Yeah, Proto, that's why you couldn't kill anyone.
What's the most bang for my buck?
You could be Big Daddy and drilling a man into the wall all freaking day, which sounds terrible, but he has a drill, so just...
Yeah.
And you could just be pummeling this guy, and you're never going to kill him, because you have to build that special meter up. The thing is, though, is that it's just such a clunky mechanic. And like I said, it trivializes the moves, and then the special moves themselves. You have... Each level is in, like... ascending greatness, So,
right.
So like a good example is say like Kratos, okay, or Kratos, however you want to say it. His first move is just kind of like a forward like attack, and it'll maybe kill like one guy, maybe another guy if they're right on top of each other. And so that his next move is maybe a little bigger AOE, and then his final one is he actually becomes like his god, like right after God of War 1, he's in the full armor, and you could just run around and beast everybody. And I would liken that to like when you get the Landmaster tank or Giga Bowser, and in Smash Bros. The problem with that is that then you get somebody like Fat Princess, okay? And Fat Princess is level level 2 is like you're riding on a chicken and you can kind of like run into guys. But there's so many of those that then become so weak that you just it's useless.
There's not a balance. You don't feel like everybody, because that's the thing about Smash Brothers. Better or worse, love it or hate it, there is a certain balance where if you're good enough with a character, you can combat another really good top tier character because there's a certain strategy behind it. But in this game, there's such a deficit in the clunkiness of the gameplay mechanics that overcoming that deficit, it no longer becomes viable anymore.
Well, and what it came down to was like, we're all of us were trying every character. I went through the entire gamut of characters. I spent a lot of time on the game because, again, I really wanted to say there's no way this game could be this bad. And what it came down to was like, take for instance the Kratos ability that I was telling you about. So everybody's beating each other up, and yeah, we're getting a couple kills here, a couple kills there, and the Kratos guy has just powered up to level 3, and he's sitting on it. So he uses the ability, which makes him invincible, so no other super move is going to hurt him, which not everybody has an invincible move.
Right.
And then he's just, it's such a long super move. So he just starts annihilating everybody, and in that one small moment, he actually made himself so far ahead in the lead that he was untouchable. He got like 11 points, which was, I mean, the closest person was like 6 points. So you had one moment that changed everything. Even in Smash Bros, if you had all the items on and you got something like the Landmaster and you're just face rolling people, you're only going to at best get maybe 4 or 5 kills. I mean,
Right.
really, and that's against some people who don't know and they don't wait out their
They don't wait out the respawn. They don't go under and start spawning up back and forth. Yeah, I mean that's
So yeah, that's how I say it. Sorry. Anywho, yeah, it just that one moment just murdered everybody. It was like, what kind of fun is that? I mean,
well, that's what Talbania isn't Seth Killian helping to tweak this. They brought him on, I think, a little too late.
Yep, I agree.
He was brought on as kind of, I think, an advisor. But the other thing was there was advertising everywhere for this game, and I think it was a lost opportunity by Sony because the game isn't at the point. Either the game needs to come out as it is and just that's it, it's done, or put it back, let it have some time to simmer, and really work it out because it is not ready by any means. Otherwise, we're gonna. My thought is it's gonna be a patch game. It's just gonna be. It's gonna come out. It's gonna patch. It's gonna patch. It's gonna patch. Which to me, like with Street Fighter X Tekken, completely kills the momentum of the game. As much problems as Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had, it was still competent enough that people enjoyed it, and it became a really worthwhile game for people to play.
See, and so you have like with Smash Bros, you have the melee crowd and the brawl crowd. Two games that do a huge difference. So you have a fighting game that's more for fun, and you have a fighting game that people have really found like all these deep mechanics in, and that have turned into this like hardcore tournament game. And this game is neither of those. Like Sony Smash Brothers doesn't do either of those things very well.
No,
it wants to be really technical, and so it has all these weird mechanics that there's no way you could get it. Like take for instance, Proto. Proto didn't even know that like you couldn't kill people without the super moves. And he played the game. Like he got a chance to play the game. He's probably seen the media on it. You can't get the game from just sitting down with it. And
yes, Ares, the swag they give as promo items. It's when you walk around. Now, we say swag, and I have learned a little bit better definition of swag. Swag is stuff they give away for free. Like this was the shirt for Harold, which is we've covered on the side.
Great article on that. Amazing game.
Really great game. But this is a shirt they gave if you play the game. But then some places will just hand stuff for you for free. Some you'll have to have contests. So swag refers to a lot of different things, but it's essentially the stuff you get at a con. At a con.
And when the people are called swag whores, that is a complete and utter truth.
Yeah.
You will see people who have their hands up and they're like begging for something, and you go, what is this line for? What are we here for? I have no idea.
That was the funniest thing in the Kirby line.
Idea.
We're the Kirby line for that content for the something we'll talk about here in a second. The Guinness World Book of World Records. Book of World
Bubble
Records.
Gum
blowing
Jesus,
contest.
that's hard.
God. But we were in that line, and there's a kid literally behind us who was going, "What is this line for?" It's for Kirby. Who's that? And I face palmed myself and I said, "Dear God,
yeah." Well, and then
this generation." And then he just was waiting because he just saw literally. And this is what people will do. I found out they'll just see a line of people and they're like,
"Go into it." Yeah.
There's things over there. I should stand in it for things. I don't know what it is.
I skipped ahead because there were in the Kirby line like 50 people ahead of me, but the line was snaking.
Yeah.
They're right next to me. It's like 3 dude bros, and they're in the line for the Kirby thing, and they're like, "What are we here for?" And I said, "Well, this is the Kirby event. You know, this is here for registration. The event doesn't even start for another 2 hours. So we have a line that's going to take like 2 hours to get through, plus another 2 hours before the event." And they're like, they were on board to stand in the line even though they didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden they're like weighing the time, like whatever they're going to give me, is it going to be worth it? Because they're not Kirby guys. I could tell they weren't Kirby people.
Yeah.
And so we would just jump in again.
And Proto, by the way, teach the boy Brian, you're welcome. This was something we will speak about later, but I did save him a spot in line because he was playing Project P100. Mm-hmm. And so the lady comes by. Okay, now let's move on actually to this Kirby story. Okay, let's move on to this, and this man, what he will do for Kirby. Okay, it's a heartwarming.
Why do we have to tell this story?
It's a heartwarming
and
a sickening story at once. Okay, so Kirby event is happening. I'm hanging out with Proto. We're playing some games in the Nintendo line, and we bump into Sean and the rest of our crew. So they said to us, "Hey, we're going to play some Nintendo games, but we hear that the line and the Kirby is getting backed up a bit. We're going to go to the line. We'll see you there." And I said, "Great." So they go to the line. I'm there with Proto, and he's taking him a little bit to get to the Project P100 demo. And I said to him, "Dude, I'm going to go to the Kirby line because if it's getting filled up, I'll save you a spot, bro." Cool. So I get there and I see Alex and our other friends that are there, and I, do a little, get in the line because these are my buddies. So I got in line with them and I start talking it up a little bit. And about probably 30 minutes into us standing there, this lady comes by and starts handing out wristbands. And you should have seen this guy's face. You should have seen this guy's face with the wristbands. He is like a little puppy dog waiting for a treat. I have wristbands. Are they going to get to me? What if I don't get a wristband? Because I want a wristband so bad. So finally she hands it out, and we aren't around the part of the line where we've got these wristbands. And Sean's automatic reaction is, that's it. That's the wristbands. I think he thinks in his head, that's it. That's the only people getting wristbands.
To be fair, let me preface for a second, okay? Let me preface for a second because
let me put my defense up,
when
please.
the wristbands come out at PAX, that is the line.
Yeah,
and
right,
usually,
right.
and if you see the amount of bags that they have available, there's only about 200 there, okay? And so you see what they have available, and you see these wristbands come out, and they'll do it for the concerts, they'll do it for all these things. They'll hand those wristbands out and go, that's it. So the first batch of wristbands come out, and I'm thinking, that's it. I'm going to, this shirt is like one of the big things I wanted to get. I wanted to be a part of the event. I wanted to, I'm a huge, enormously huge Kirby fan. And I've missed this event, which was supposed to start at 1, mind you. The lineup was supposed to start at 1, and it was already like 500 people deep at noon.
Right.
So I see ahead of me these guys, and I'm like, I am going to convince somebody to give me their wristband.
Yeah, see, I don't know how this part happened. I only saw the end of it. So tell me, how did you go from not having a wristband to getting a wristband? Because there was some trade that happened, a sexual favor.
It was the dude bros I just mentioned. The dude bros are going, well, we don't want to be in this line. So this dude is like, he starts to get out of the line. I'm going, no, let me try and get your wristband off without breaking it. So I start to like coax this wristband off this guy. And I get it off, and I get it on, and I look at everyone else, and we're all together, like, we're going to do this.
We're together, right? But at this point, we are friends to the end. And he literally puts that wristband on, and it's like a Lord of the Rings moment. It is like the ring came on, and he has now been taken over by the evil that is the wristband. And he literally just mentally flips us off. He's like,
yep.
Well, guys, I'm going over here to the promised land.
There was the staunches that were set up.
Yes.
And it was literally like, well, I have this wristband, and I'd love to stand with you guys, but I need to go where I belong.
I need to go to the wristband people.
I distinctly remember unintentionally saying, I need to go where I belong.
Yeah.
And so I just lift it up, and just as I'm looking at him, I get it on the other side of the line, and then here we are.
And then from that point on, he was here.
Yep.
He was above all. It was like one of those really terrible, heart-wrenching moments in those post-apocalyptic films when you know that the bomb's gonna hit and they can only save so many people. And like, while most people are saying goodbye to their family members, like, oh, I won't be able to see you. Survive for the family. He's the dickwad that's like, yep, I'm getting in.
Look,
Brian. I'm getting in. I'm saved. Oh, look at my skin. Brian's going to be like, oh, I'm murdered.
You know what? There's only so many people that can get in there. Would you like me to die if it meant that there was space for me?
But that's not how you presented it.
No, that was...
You presented it in the line like, what's up? What's up, chemical burn boy? I'm going to be inside. I don't know what you're going to be doing, dancing in the fire. But
exactly, JK. Exactly, JK. This isn't a matter of us just like hanging out and being buddies. No, this is being a part of the Kirby event and possibly not being a part of the Kirby event.
So then he got his wristband, and then after that point, he is here. So he's put himself at this point like, I am the shiz, okay? And then about 15 minutes later, another gal starts to come around and hand more wristbands out. And so now you see this guy who's like right here. He just gets down. He notches down like a half a percentage because he's like, oh, more wristbands. Well, I guess I can still be. So they start giving out wristbands, and being the good friend I am, I hold one. I tell the gal because she's very liberal with these things. I could have told her I had like triplets with me. She would have given me like 8 wristbands. But I said, I got a buddy waiting. Can you give me a wristband? So I took my wristband, put it on, took the other one, put it in my pocket.
Check this out, though. Okay, now before you're getting it. They performed a psychological experiment on us.
A psychological experiment?
Yes, because they don't explain any of this. They don't explain what's going on with these wristbands. But every like 150 people or so, there's a different colored wristband.
There is a different color. Yes.
There is. So you don't know.
So he has got like. Orange.
I was red.
Oh.
But there was a pink.
Hey, whoa. I was not orange.
I was not the orange guys.
Red.
There was a pink ahead of us, though.
Red.
There was a pink ahead of us. So all we know is that these guys got pink ones. We got red ones. And then like it goes all the way back to gray, and you don't want to have the gray wristband.
No, you don't want to have a gray wristband.
But
Who
we don't
wants
know
gray?
why.
But we don't know what they mean. What is it? So I got an orange one, and then the guys right behind us got a green one. Mm-hmm. So Proto finally comes in line, and the whole time, I could have told Sean that I won $1 million. Like, hey, I just had sex with Shigeru Miyamoto.
Not
And he'd
going
be
back
like,
there.
sorry,
Yep.
I got this wristband here. This wristband says the best. I am the best. I'm better than you always.
That's right. Red ones go faster. That's right. And I
And
completely
he
agree.
betrayed us all for a wristband.
No,
So,
let me. And he wasn't here for that moment. But as soon as we got the red wristbands, there was a small group of us who all got the Dude Bros wristbands, and we got in the line. And we're happy, and then we turn and we're like, pink wristbands, huh? So we started trying to get buddy with the pink wristband people, and we left. We started our own group. I had my own line friends that were all the red
oh yeah,
wristband.
and here's
line
the funny
friends.
thing too. He didn't even know these people.
No, we didn't
He
know
didn't even
any-
know these people. But so help me, if it would have been
I'd have taken a bullet.
If you'd have taken a,
I'd have taken a
it'd be
bullet.
Like, hey, guys, we have to kill somebody here. Is it Brian or this random stranger you just met? You're like, Brian, shooting line.
Do you
this
see
guy
the
right
wristband?
now.
There was no wristband.
He switched. He didn't even know these people.
I did.
And then these people automatically just suckered into like, oh yeah, we're best buds.
Yep.
But like after the event was over, he could have cared less if they died. But it was only for that moment.
It
when
was
they
a
were
matter
like-
for Kirby. For God's sakes, it was for Kirby. And so yeah, then we were eyeballing the pink wristband people, and we just tried to get as far as we could into the pink wristband people, and we actually started moving forward. And it got to a point when the line started to like contract together, and we would like, no, you're not coming in front of me. Like, look at my number. My wristband has a number on it. You try and get in front of me, I will freaking kill you.
He was serious.
I wish I had the wristband. Think of the most generic, just red, nondescript
red
wristband.
with a number on it.
There was no anything. It was just a wristband.
Who needs wristbands when you have a Neo Geo MVS? That's right.
Yeah.
A Neo Geo MVS, you don't need wristbands.
No.
But at that point you did.
It was
But we were waiting in line, so the whole time.
And it
he's
was
up-
like Neo Geo Red. I mean, it was really, it was
really-
great.
It was
wristband.
beautiful. It was
Great
the best
wristband.
red he's ever seen.
If there was a red wristband, like if there was a tier.
A tier of red wristbands.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a GameFAQs top 10 poll on red wristbands.
On red wristbands.
And number one will be the Kirby
The
wristband.
Kirby red wristband. Okay.
There will be stories
When
told
you go
about
that far or that passionate about something, that behavior is inevitable. Yeah.
it. It's true. It's true.
That's true.
I'm not trying to say I'm proud of it. I wasn't like
But
proud of my
the funny thing
behavior.
about it is you just went in autopilot. When it's about Kirby, everything, all other bets are off.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
something I learned about Sean. I didn't really know that about Sean, but I learned all bets are off. So we wait in line, and we're going through, and he's over in Friendville, and I'm still with my... And see, here's the thing. Mind you, there were people in our group that had green wristbands that are technically worse than my orange wristbands. And you know what I did? I welcomed it. You know what, in fact, I did? I played some little Tetris DS with my friends because I cared about them. And you know, I said, hey, let's not have this Kirby get in between us because I value our friendship. I value our friendship more than an imaginary character in a video game. This is real.
You know what, Brian? He says that right now, but that's because in the end, they all got shirts. I swear to God, this conversation would be a lot different if it didn't play that way. If the green wristband people didn't get shirts, you know they'd been behind you. Excuse me, wait a minute. No, these people are behind
Oh,
you.
yeah. If
Yeah.
they were like, by the way, green does not get a shirt, I'm like, all right, guys. Hey, peace out.
You
Love
see?
you.
Exactly. So now all of
See,
a sudden,
get outta here.
now.
But that's not how it played out.
But so
That's
now
not how
all
it
of a
played
sudden
out.
you're the evangelist.
It's
You're
not-
you're the Mother Teresa.
Brian is the Rosa Parks of wristbands. That's right.
Yeah, until it
That's right.
mattered. Until if it would have mattered, you would have kicked him to the curb. And that was the decision
For
I had
Kirby
to make.
shirts, I could have given. If it was down to it, I would have given it up for a friend. I
Oh
would have given up my Kirby
God.
shirt for a friend. I would have.
Well, and that then begged the question, like, further on and after the Kirby event, there were people with signs holding money in the air going $30 a shirt, $40 a shirt. I saw it get up to $50 a shirt. People just have signs pre-made waiting after the event, like, we want to buy your Kirby shirt from you for just
'Cause that's-
obscene amounts
that's a
of money.
once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's a single shirt. It actually has on the back, it says it's got the Kirby anniversary symbol on it and
That's
everything.
it.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean,
Loyalty to your country, loyalty to the mission. Sean is big boss.
yeah.
That's what you are. Everyone's like, you're the bad guy, but like at the end, as you're dying in the flesh, you're like, no, really,
Lazy
I
Kirby.
was the good guy.
We had a lot of time to mess with that, and let me tell you, it's so leaps and bounds better than the Mario Anniversary Collection.
Oh, God,
the
yeah,
Mario Collection.
jeez.
Like, not only in this one do you have like a fully interactive museum, and like you can go all the way through it as Kirby. He's got cool little animations. They actually put in like episodes of the show.
Yeah.
They put in like these awesome like art galleries. 45 song soundtrack.
Yeah.
And we're talking all the big songs from each of the games. It's an amazing collection.
And they have new mini games.
Yep, and the new mini games. And by new mini games, there are like 15 new games, like new stages, and they're in the Return to Dreamland, and it's over like all the different stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the collection, but it did have a soundtrack with it. And to be fair, this is mostly sort of like that. It's a collection of ROMs. You're getting Dreamland, Dreamland 2. You're getting Kirby's
It was funny to watch them
Adventure.
play it because the guy at the Nintendo reps kind of softballed him like, so what do you want to play? Like, yeah, Kirby All-Star.
No, we didn't even say Kirby All-Stars.
Like,
They said, what do you want to play? We said Great Cave Offensive. We want to see if we can get through it real quick. Like, you're not even talking about, like, we walk up to it and we're talking about a sub-game in one of the games.
Yeah.
And that, you weren't there for it, but we had just gotten, like, we came back 2 hours earlier and beat Spring Breeze on there just in one sitting. So...
Yeah, these guys were bossing past it. The guy was like, yeah, these guys know what they're talking about. So anyway, the line. So we got through the line. But the best part, actually, there's a bigger douche than Sean.
Thanks. What the hell, dude?
There is a guy, I don't know what was up with him, but I remember specifically we were going to talk to, there's these guys with an iPad who were talking about the new Marvel Superheroes online game. And they said, hey, if you want to sign up for this, that'll be great. And I remember some guy was signing up for it. I don't know, for whatever reason, another guy just breezed by him. Just pushed by him.
Yeah, Landon, I think they went up to extra large.
Yeah, they went to extra large. That was it. So it was kind of entertaining because you saw some people like, do you have 2X? And like, just got 3X. So you saw a lot of people getting a little snug. Because let me tell you, it doesn't matter what size you are. If you love Kirby, you'll get snug for some Kirby. Mm-hmm. You don't mind wearing an XL if you just need to have a 2XL. You'll get nice and snug with it.
You want to talk about something that sucked. Not how limited this Kirby's Anniversary Edition is going to be, but Nintendo, and I tried to lock myself in on one, and I was even writing an article and it sold out. But on the Nintendo website, where you can exchange your coins for items, they actually had a Kirby medallion they were giving for the anniversary. It came in this nice box, and it was a medallion and everything. It only was like 600 coins. And I'm telling you, no one had reported on this. I saw it once on Cheap Ass Gamer, and they were sold out in like a day. Like by the time I got to them that night at like 6 p.m., sold out already.
Yeah.
It sucked, man. So these Kirby people are ravenous, and they are in greater numbers.
So people looked like Kirby when they wore them. There were a couple Kirby-ish people. You were like, that's very Kirby. So anyway, yeah, this dick rolls by, and of course I called him on it. We had the classic more important people. That was the whole trip. There were the more important people, the people that had to get by you for some reason, and that's why I told the Marvel guy. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's a dick. He's much more important than you." Mm-hmm. And I said it. I'm like 2 feet away from him. I'm like, yeah, he's much more important than you. He's got to get through.
Yep. So, we had a guy we called Jerkface. He was right in front of us, and he was Jerkface because he cut in front of like the 4 of my line friends. So he was Jerkface the whole line. I tapped him on his shoulder. I said, "Excuse me, you're a jerk, don't you?" And he turned around. He's like, "It's for Kirby." I was like, "I understand."
That conversation never
absolutely,
happened.
Absolutely.
That conversation
absolutely
did.
Jerkface. No, you didn't see Jerkface? We actually, when we got into the big group at the second half of the line, we misrepresented him. We thought it was a different guy.
Oh.
And so we all, you know what? No, it happened. I swear to God. Ask my line friends.
Where your line? See, all this sounds like, Sean, is you trying to.
Nope. Ask my line friends. Ask my line friends.
This sounds like you trying to.
Yep.
Make what you did.
It did. No, it was not right. It was not right. But the fact of the matter was that I was pissed off at this guy for getting in front of us, coming in front of us, even though he was behind us, even though he had a higher numbered wristband. And then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, I'm kind of doing the same thing. So
Kirby is so simple. What's not to love about him? He's a circle that sucks.
Yeah.
A sucking circle. So we got through. We got our shirts. Now, the first 200, did they get those bags? Who got the bags?
The bags, I think the bags were meant as a consolation prize. For the people who were
because I know it's like
the
people in the bag got the bag.
It got to they had far more people than they expected, and there were
by the time the guy the Nintendo rep was surprised, he didn't know if they were going to fill up with all the people they needed, and they were way past what they needed.
Yeah, the Kirby bags, they weren't Kirby bags, they were pink bags. They had this like Kirby stress ball in them, and the poster that they were giving away when you played the Kirby Anniversary Collection.
Right.
So it was a really just a consolation prize. They ran out of that real early on. I mean, I would say that half the people in line didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even get anything. So
we were the lucky ones. So yeah, we went up there, got us some bubble gum and
Bubblicious bubble gum.
And then out comes Gigantor Kirby.
This Kirby was probably, I don't know, 4 feet wide, 5 feet wide at
5
least.
feet wide, 5 feet by 5 feet.
Yep.
Ball, oh Kirby.
Yeah, and it was just pure
And
love.
there's this little gal that was guiding him up this platform. He just has to literally bounce him, just go bounced up. He got up there, and it was air. Was that air cooled? It looked like it was blown up.
Yeah,
and
there was a fan in there. You could see the vent for it, but it was a pretty awesome. Like I just wanted to jump into him.
Yeah,
but he wasn't squishy. He was pretty firm.
He was pretty firm.
Yes, he was pretty firm.
He was firm. He wasn't soft.
I just kind of wanted to fall into him and just.
Yeah. You were playing Dave Matthews Crash Into Me.
Yep.
You've got your ball, you've got your chain. And you're dancing with Kirby. And that would have been really cool. I would have paid to see money. But so we went to and blew the bubble, and they had this big event where they had the Guinness World Book of Records. And by the way, that backdrop that they had for Kirby, I would have killed to have had that, just like plaster that on my wall. Yep. But we everyone blew a bubble, held it, and now we are in the Guinness World Book of Records
for bubblegum blowing.
500 people, and their record was like 304 before.
I think it was even lower than that, but yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah,
I know we beat it by like at least 250.
Timber Peter Kirby, only at Jordan's Furniture. Excellent.
Me and my line friends were making a joke about it. I have to say line friends. We were talking about how there was like more than likely the last record was broken for something like really important. Like,
right.
Like these people all had like this was for bone marrow transplants.
Right,
and,
like a debilitating...
Awareness of like...
probably some cancer.
Of face cancer awareness or something. And so now it's beaten. They're knocked out. All of that's gone. And
no one will remember them.
Now it's just
and
Nintendo for like a sales
Nintendo
boy.
Kirby.
It's just a big advertising thing now. Those poor children with face cancer.
Poor.
I feel sorry for any of you with face cancer.
Yeah, we apologize ahead of time. So yeah, do we want to do a little giveaway now?
Yeah, we can do another.
Is there another here? Let's see. Ooh,
shall we?
Shall we? Is that because I've heard good things from you?
This is a great game. We're going to actually be talking about. We're going to be giving away an exclusive beta now for Shootmania Storm. Shootmania Storm. It's an attempt at making like a brand new Quake 3 Arena-esque.
Oh yeah, it's
super Twitch tournament shooter game. I've been in the beta for a long time. It's an awesome game. Really, really great game.
And I saw it played, and it's being played at literally tournament level. They had just a bunch of people playing it. It's at a very tournament Quake 3, quick, fast-paced level. So
yeah, it is awesome, and it's very hard to get into the beta right now. So we're gonna be giving away the exclusive beta. But what are we gonna ask of them?
Do we ask a Kirby question since we were talking about Kirby?
Ooh, Kirby question.
Or do we ask a Quake 3 question?
A Quake 3 question because it's sort of relevant.
Right.
Shootmania, the company behind Trackmania.
Trackmania, yes.
Yeah.
He plays the car.
Yep. We could do a Kirby question. What do you think we should do? I got it. Kirby Superstar Ultra. One of the extra games they put in. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. We want to make it easy enough.
Okay. The first Kirby puzzle game.
Okay. We're going to ask the question now on here.
You know what? Your whispering sucks, Algebraic. Jeez. It's stage whispering, okay?
Make sure I got that. Okay. All right, we're asking a question on here. Question is going through the chat. First one to answer that question.
Wow. Yeah, that's Proto right there. He was straight out with that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He was like...
Yeah, that was... He's a baller on that.
Jeez, all right. Well, congratulations, Proto, our fellow PAX goer.
But
is he,
what is this but? It's a cliffhanger.
There's a but. I'm waiting. What is she saying after the but?
Proto, show me your butt.
That's actually one T. It's not two T's. It's not a butt. It's not a what butt. I kind of feel like a dig now. Yeah, a guy at PAX just stole the PAX swag.
It's true.
And I gave you a free Kirby shirt.
That's right. You want to martyr it to JK or to somebody else there?
Or Aries or JK. I don't know if we
Give it to a
Give it a
real
real
fan.
Well, we'll give it to Proto. It was fair and square.
It was fair and square. Fair and square.
And anybody who's here can do it. So you know what? Because then if we start prorating it, like, oh, how much do I love you? And, yeah.
But you know what? Let's give the other two.
Oh,
give it
okay.
to the other guy. All right, we can give it to the other guy then, Proto. Look at that
Okay.
heart.
Is that to JK?
Don't give it to me. I might not ever use it. All right, we'll hook it up. We'll hook up Aries with it.
Aries, okay.
Aries, you got the beta code for the Shoot Mania.
Awesome.
It's a really great
Congratulations,
game. You guys
Aries.
are gonna love it. It's awesome.
Aries gets the beta code. Awesome. Okay. And so then moving on from that, what other big events do we want to just talk about the big events that we...
Well, let's talk about the one we've got kind of the exclusive little prize for
Oh, yes.
our
Yes.
listeners. This is one that you all win just by being on
You
here.
all win. Here it is. This is one you all win. Let me put this in here. We have for you a special article covering the Metal Gear 25th anniversary party, Konami exclusive Hard Rock Cafe. Only 100 people went to this.
Very exclusive.
Very exclusive party. And,
Very expensive.
Very expensive. And what we have here is a link for you.
Yes, Proto, that was an actual question at the Kirby event. That was
Yeah,
kind
it
of the
was.
reason why we picked it.
That right there is a link to an article, but you can't get into it if you just click on it.
No.
What you have to do is you have to put in the
Thank
password.
you, JK. You caught it. Very expensive.
Password is Crab Battle. Click on that link, and it'll ask you for a password, and you put in Crab Battle, and we have over 40 pictures from the Metal Gear anniversary event and an exclusive video of Mr. Kojima himself speaking about the history of Metal Gear with special guest star Cliff Bleszinski. And both of those are only available on the site, only available with this link and that password.
It's true. That is only
So
for you guys.
if you guys are here, you get it. Nobody else is going to get this. If you didn't watch this, you're not going to get it.
The site needs fixed. What are you having problems
Needs
with? Cookie?
fixed. Site's darn pasty, actually.
It is.
Man.
The guy that whines about review scores. That's right. Yeah. He's there. He is there.
He's there, and he complimented. He was...
However, I remember I was trying to get a shot with him, and I tried to get him to look over, and I go, Cliffy B! And he looks at me and then scowls, and he's like, dude, I don't use Cliffy B anymore. Like, 'cause, he hates that. He hates when people call him Cliffy B. But, well, on the site, we're getting hit a lot
We
right
are
now,
getting hit, yeah. So if you can't get it, just... And that's something we are also working on, by the way. But that is where you're going to be able to get those, and check it out. Mm-hmm. And it's an exclusive for you guys since you came and joined the PAX cast.
Cliffy B. No, Cliffy B.
Cliffy B, yes.
Yep, Cliff Bleszinski, but he used to go by Cliffy
Yes,
B.
the stream will be recorded, but by that time we put it up, it'll probably be here in another few days. Then probably by Monday, the story will be available for everybody. And what we did here is it's really a video and pictures. We'll have the full story, but we wanted to just kind of blow our load here. Just be like, here's the pictures and the video. That's what you guys want to see.
Yep.
And we'll tell our stories at a later time. But let's talk about that.
About the Metal Gear event. It was
we
pretty
want-
fun.
yeah.
It was a good time. Yeah, I mean, it was really just kind of there as just a huge tribute to Metal Gear at the Hard Rock Cafe. Yes, and Proto actually was there with us. We all had a good time together.
Yeah, it was me, Proto, Sean, and his friend Ryan.
Yep, a good friend of
Yep.
ours. But there was a lot of free alcohol. That was definitely there's lots of free alcohol and cheeses.
Cheeses. At the beginning, there was cheeses, and I was a little worried, like, alcohol and cheese. This does not seem like a wise combination.
Yeah, it was dangerous. But then
Yeah, Brian with Anaba, the one and only Atsushi Anaba from Platinum Games. Oh,
yeah, it was a good opportunity for us to kind of rub elbows with a lot of the big press.
rub boners with the press.
No one touched any boners that I saw, but
Well, you must have left early.
I did.
After you left, boners were flying everywhere.
It sounds like I left at the right time, then.
That's the worst time to leave. Once boners start flying is when you really get to know somebody.
There were like 5 girls there, so I'm just saying.
Well, it's a different kind of girl
It's
boner.
a different kind of boner toucher.
It's a different kind of boner. Girl boners. A different kind of boner.
Yeah, Proto, you did lean across and jack a shot.
That was funny.
And then you just like kept like throwing it out there like shot, and they were like, all right,
this is Guy, he's here.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a really cool event, really nicely set up. Open bar, of course. They had these big cardboard boxes with 25th anniversary written all over it. But all in all, Konami knows how to throw a party.
It was a pretty good party.
They had these really cool little flip books that you could. I don't know if we can get this on shot. We'll probably record it later, but
you could actually act out something, and then the flip book would.
Let's see if we can get this close enough. It won't be in focus.
As you can see, it was good times though. And for everybody on the chat, also we have an exclusive code. They Konami Style just opened up a new store, and we have a 10% off coupon until the end of the month. So he's going to go ahead and throw it in the chat right now. So if you want to go get some of the exclusive figures, it's not just Metal Gear. They have a lot of awesome stuff on there.
They had a Gradius pin I wanted.
Yeah, and they actually sold it at the end of it. Sold it at the end of it. It was really just meant to be there. I actually asked to buy it like day one, but they wouldn't sell it.
More boners than Vlog.
Anywho, yeah.
Could grab.
Head to the Konami Style. It's shop.konami.com.
.konami.com.
And you can actually go ahead and get a 10% off on any of your purchases right now.
Yeah, you can check that out. But it was a great event. They had Metal Gear Rising Revengeance up on display to play, Metal Gear HD Collection, and Metal Gear 4, and of course 80s music blaring over the whole time because it's 87, it's the 80s. And as the night went on, the dancing happened. The drunken dancing happened, and it was very good. But
it was drunken, and it was
dancing.
dancing.
It was dancing. But there's a lot of the Mega 64 folks were there. A
lot of big guys from IGN, Joystick, game trailers. It was a pretty good turnout.
I threw up in the bathroom on the roof. Yes,
it's true. Proto did not fare well towards the end.
No, towards the end he was gone. Yeah. Like Proto was like one of those like, dude, you need to just. I had to kind of help. I had to help him along.
Yeah,
I had to.
You had to hold his hair back.
I did. I was like, oh come on, sweetie, just go do it. But all in all, a great event, and just so honored to be a part of it. And I say thank you to Proto, and you will also notice in the article I had to say thank you to Proto because the only reason I was there because of Proto.
You know, Riz, it was interesting. They had no Ground Zeroes coverage there, which Ground Zeroes did have a presence, and you could see the trailer was shown.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did not.
I think it was more just a celebration of Metal Gear
of what had been.
Right, and they had him cut the cake, and but the whole thing was just a little more of honoring the Metal Gear legacy.
Exactly. So.
But on that, what do you think about Kojima and the Metal Gear franchise? Because there keeps being talk about now with Metal Gear Zero, Ground Zeroes. I mean, Kojima's been done with this series for a long time.
Yeah. You know, from a gameplay standpoint, like everybody's tossing around Peace Walker as like a big comparison to this, and I loved Peace Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, okay. If it's gonna play like Peace Walker, but like a console Peace Walker full meal, I'm on board. I can do it. As far as the story that goes, though, I mean, the story of Solid Snake is pretty much done.
Oh, the fact that I'm glad they're doing Boss. We're back to the Boss. We're back to going with him like in the late 70s, mid 80s. It sounds like his army is, Outer Haven. That whole thing is coming to fruition. But
I would much rather have preferred like an awesome Cold War Ocelot game, like almost in the vein of Rising. So you have like maybe like
it's a different game,
sort
it's
of
like
third person esque like shooter, but with Ocelot. I've been on board for
dude.
That.
I also wanted to play a Vietnam style game with the Boss and the Sorrow. What if you could? Okay, check this out. Here's my thought: a game like that, but Castlevania 3 style, where you switch roles. What? Yes, that just got spoken. But if you could do that and be like the Boss and then like the Sorrow and you play through all those characters. What?
Sounds like you're talking about Operation Raccoon City. I'm sorry to bring it up, but
God.
Lazy Kirby. Yeah, though, you have to keep in mind the MSX Metal Gear 1 and 2, which are great games.
We don't what we got for Metal Gear 1 and 2. And,
we're not talking about General Vernon Katafi and Hyarola Kakamami.
Eric and I were talking about that too. When I first thought about Metal Gear when I was a kid, that wasn't a game series that I went, God, I want more of these. Mm-hmm. So when Metal Gear Solid came out, that was, for me in America, I think Metal Gear Solid was the true first Metal Gear experience for a lot of Americans because we never had the experience of the MSX versions until hindsight going, oh, where did this series come from?
It's the first Metal Gear on NES was, I would say, competent. I mean, very competent.
It was competent, but I didn't ever hold it. When I think of NES games that I hold in high esteem from Konami,
Yeah, no,
you got 10 other games that go way ahead of Metal Gear. So, but now we have hindsight. We can see how great they are.
JK, if you get the opportunity, you should read the instruction manual for Snake's Revenge. I actually have the boxed copy of the instruction manual. It's gold. The whole thing is just like, you take those terrible names and throw just English all over it. Oh man,
and then you've got the instruction.
It's pure brilliance. If it's not really available online, I'll double check it. If not, I'll do a scan of it because it's so good.
It's beautiful poetry.
It really is. It really is. So,
Metal Gear Solid: Your Biggest Heights. Start in the jungle, not at the enemy base. NES gamers, so that's a good point.
I love English. It's one of my main reasons for collecting like old boxes and old instruction manuals for a lot of these games. Is just because, I mean, they had nobody overseeing the translation of these games. So It was great. I love the English.
Yeah. So any other subjects we want to speak about on PAX that we went to the Final Fantasy 25th anniversary party.
They had a nice.
We have pictures for that, but
we'll get them out there. We'll get them out there. It was a nice event. It was tasteful. It was a little. I think they could have blown it up a little bigger. But it had an open bar, which was the important part.
Well, yeah, there you go. Chuck goes back to everything. I went to the PlayStation All-Stars open bar. That game was great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really... The interesting thing about that one was that they had all the games available to play, but they also had them on hardware that was what you would find at the time.
Original hardware.
So you had the original Final Fantasy on NES on like this 10-channel tube switcher, just like
old wood grain
TV. The weird thing was like they had Final Fantasy 3 and 5 available, but in Japanese on the Super Famicom.
It was so funny to watch him play that. Too.
I was trying to get through 5, and they had different saves at key moments of the game, and they had you in one of these dungeons, level like 45, and these guys were just getting wiped. And I'm trying to read through, like trying to remember where the spells were, like the spell listings and everything. It was pretty ridiculous. So, quick question: was Lightning Returns another? Yes, it is. Yeah. Lightning Returns is it's 13.3. Right. I mean, it is Final Fantasy 13.3. So,
and it was nicely set up. I mean, all the rooms were nicely set up. It was just really cool. It was nice, but it didn't really blow you away like the Konami party. The Konami party is literally up here. Final Fantasy, I just thought for what they were celebrating, they could have really blown out the box. Had somebody there, because the only person they had there was a video rolling about, because they were going to talk about, hey, there's these new announcements, and all there was a video rolling of them talking.
Yeah, they had a video of Lightning Returns. It wasn't anything we hadn't actually seen the night before when it had actually leaked.
They should have had somebody there from Square Enix that could have been like
Versus 13. Versus 13. From what I'm hearing, it's definitely not dead, which was what a lot of the rumors were.
Yeah. And
the foundation of that rumor was that actually the name is changing. They're not going to call it Versus 13 anymore. It's going to get its own name in the Fabula Crystal Nova series, whatever, Fabula Nova Chrysalis series. But that is still a focus. That is still a pillar that Square Enix is working on. It's not going to get Mega Man Legends 3'd, I don't think.
Well, hopefully.
So, but on Lightning Returns, I'm actually moderately excited about it. 13.2 was awesome. It really was. It was a good game.
It was much improved.
The dialogue was kind of lame. I mean, they would be like, so we're time traveling. Does that mean we're time travelers? So we're time travelers because we're time traveling. And that would be literally in the same conversation. They treated you like an idiot. But the gameplay was great. I mean, it was back to that everything you wanted from a next-gen Final Fantasy game.
I agree.
And the time traveling element was really cool. But what they're talking about with Returns, Lightning Returns, is actually doing a Groundhog Day Majora's Mask sort of thing, where you're in the confines of a certain amount of time, and you actually will be constantly altering the history as you go. So it'll still have lots of dungeons and stuff like that. It's not like you're going to go through the same thing over and over, but you'll really see the reactions to all of your things you do. So
when I said I enjoyed 13.2, I don't remember Brian being as accepting as LOL. Maybe I'm wrong. Landon, There's so many things I want to say. I'm trying to think of what the best thing is to say.
Let's just say he had a wristband and you didn't.
Yeah,
I think that's the best
I had
way
a
to
wristband
say
and
it.
you didn't. So let's just. When it comes to Final Fantasy 13-2, my opinions actually are more valid than yours because of the Kirby bracelet.
Because you just don't have a wristband, bud. I mean,
Sorry,
that's
man.
really what it comes down
Sorry.
to.
I wish I could help you out on that, but when you get a Kirby wristband, then we can talk on the same level. Until then, and a Kirby shirt, which I wasn't wearing, but you know.
Landon, I'd like to talk to you though about the game because it was a lot of fun and it was a really great game. So.
I'd actually like to talk to you, but I actually am not allowed to talk to you after the Kirby bracelet. That's actually one of the things they said.
That's it.
Could you please not speak to any of your other friends? Only speak with line friends after this day.
So the next comment is going to be for only people who have Kirby bracelets.
Oh,
so,
really?
So if everyone who doesn't have a
Okay.
Kirby bracelet, just turn
Like,
around,
just do
turn the
something
monitor
else.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's seriously, guys, we're a lot better than those people.
Yeah,
all
a
right,
lot
so
better.
just play along with them. But you guys know, the Kirby bracelet.
They're
really,
different. They're different.
Yeah,
They're special.
okay.
You know, they have-
Anywho, so all right.
Okay.
I don't know how we're gonna get their attention back. Come
Come back.
You're back.
Yeah, we're back. Automatic.
So, anywho, well, I don't know what that was about.
I never stopped listening. Well, that didn't work out. Like
It didn't work. Gee, I didn't expect that to happen.
Most surprising game.
Well, mine still kind of goes to Adventure Time, which was a great title. But I'm gonna go ahead and use this as an opportunity to kind of call out on The Cave from Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
Which is a really great game. It was funny too because the game that it's most like, I kept like telling people, oh, it's like this, and they had no idea what I was talking about, and that is Lost Vikings. The
Right.
game is so much like Lost Vikings. It's like Maniac Mansion in the sense that you have, a ragtag group of people, and they're all going into this cave, and you have to solve all these puzzles that each person is kind of uniquely capable of doing. But it has this Lost Vikings sort of feel to it.
Because you controlled 3 separate characters to
Yeah.
do all these puzzles and stuff. Although when I was playing it, it was really funny because I was really just in line. I was like, oh, I want to see what this is. It's Sega. It's the whole Double Fine. And, hey, they got some cool little swag or whatever. And I remember playing it, and Proto was with me, so I wasn't like fully paying attention. So I had the guy that was there that was essentially pointing out to me things like, so just go up there and activate that switch. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But I wasn't paying attention. So I felt bad that a random guy that I don't know thought I was an idiot. Because the whole time I was just screwing up. I wasn't even playing I wasn't focused like I should have been. And I felt like I did not show my true gamer skill.
Yeah, JK, those are actually pretty well done figures, and they're real nice. We saw them in person.
Oh yeah. And
So-
then they got the Revoltech ones for the
Definitely jump on those, and with that discount, it makes it even better.
Yeah.
And their stuff doesn't really go on sale very often, so I would get it. Proto, we're talking about The Cave, Ron Gilbert's new game that actually supposedly was thought up during the heyday of the LucasArts era. This was something they've always been thinking about. It's kind of like the Wall-E Pixar sort of thing. So, yeah. It's very cool, though. The Cave was one of the games I was wasn't necessarily surprised, per se. It's just that Double Fine games are so great in theory, they don't always play very well.
Yeah.
So to have one that's like...
And it actually control like a normal game.
It's a complete package.
And I think since they put the Sega name on it, I'm actually excited to see what happens because people are going to say, the new Sega game. They won't know it's Double Fine. They're just going to see a Sega name and then they'll put a brand to it and buy it.
Riz, thanks a lot for joining us.
Hey, Riz.
We had a good time with you. So
I did. I got your Twitter and I will add you on Skype.
just make sure next time to try and get a wristband. You kind of.
We should have prefaced it before. I didn't really say anything. I thought it was assumed.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like, oh, Kirby wristbands, but that was a bad assumption on my part. The game I was surprised by that Sean exposed me to was Super Time Force.
Oh, Super Time Force. We have a really good article getting
Yes,
set
they're
up for
just coming
that.
out. We will tell more about that. Which, by the way, before I go on, we still have. We have not blown our whole load here, folks.
Oodles of content.
Oodles of content coming back on PAX. It's only available on SubstanceTV.net, and I mean only available not just because I say it's only, really because it's only available on SubstanceTV.net.
All the games that we've talked about, we've actually had exclusive content on it.
And spoken to some of the creators, and we're going to be getting some interviews as well later on down the road. So you want to keep coming back.
Absolutely.
It's like welcome back, Cotter. Just coming back.
That's right.
There. But Super Time Force, the idea of playing a Contra style game, but then bringing in the Super Meat Boy aspect of all your playthroughs have an ablative or I don't know what other word I want to use.
Yeah, he's talking specifically about when you finish a stage and it does your playthroughs of the last like 50 Meat Boys you had. The concept of this game, which is very pixel, very old school, Contra, is that you have one guy and there's different styles of characters, and you have to try and get through this stage, and the odds that you have to overcome are impossible, really,
for one person.
So during your time limit of 60 seconds, you get as far as you can into the stage, and then you'll rewind time back and pick a different character.
Right.
And when you pick that character, your original playthrough not only is there, but actually helps you. So by the end, you have this gigantic boss battle with like 30 or 40 of you. And you're all just taking on this huge bullet hell style boss.
Every character has like different styles and different advantages. Mm-hmm. So it's really weird to have a Contra game, but it's almost like a it's a strategy Contra. Could I say that? Because you want to strategize and not just you want to get all the right characters. So it's very, very kind of create your own
ally AI. It's a lot of fun. I got a chance to sit down and play through the stage that they provided, which was this like Jurassic era, because they
this big dinosaur.
You have this giant dinosaur just mounted with guns and flamethrowers and stuff. And they do say that the game is possible. As a matter of fact, the creators said that during the event, somebody did complete that level with one guy. So I mean, there is something to strive for.
Wow.
But I'm telling you guys, the controls are tight.
Yeah,
it's got that classic Contra style. It felt control-wise, it felt a lot like Alien Wars on Super Nintendo, Contra 3. Yeah. But graphically,
it's very quick jump, very smooth.
It's got that great pixel art that we've all really grown to love.
It's kind of like a refined. It's 8-bit but scaled out. It's almost like high-def 8-bit, where you can fit more characters on the screen at once. And but all in all,
the name of the game is Super Time Force, and you can expect we have exclusive video content and some really great hints, especially about what console that's going to be out on.
Yep.
And that should be going up on the site over the weekend, so you guys can see some.
And that's why everything we're talking about.
Gotta check it out, man.
This is us just chatting about it, but the real deal, the meat, is going to be up on the site.
The meat, the fluffy nougat.
The
fluffy nougat. Who doesn't love the nougat? The fluffy nougat.
Unless it's too much.
Unless it's Ted Nougat.
That's
Ted Nougat. Ted Nougat.
Ted Nougat. I love Ted Nougat. How can you love Ted Nougat? Unless you get a king size. Like, that's the one thing when I always would get a king size Three Musketeers.
It's too much.
Like the last fourth, you're like,
I'm about done
with the nougat. Like the first fourth, you're like, this is so fluffy and delicious. I could eat the 10 of these.
That's great. Yeah, well, I'll check that out, JK. We have some interesting things we want to say about that as well. So I'm trying to abstain from the Mega Man talk because I could literally have a weekly cast about Mega Man.
You could have
about
just Mega Man. Because you have Kirby Mega Man right there.
I have everything Mega Man.
That is a question we've asked. How would Kirby absorb the powers of a person who absorbed powers? Would it just be like an infinite loop of powers?
Check this out. This is the logic that I took with it. And there's some exceptions, of course, but the way that I saw it, how Kirby and Mega Man would work really well in Smash Bros, as both being copy-style characters, is that Kirby typically adopts more of a melee style, like of a lot of his enemies.
Right.
And Mega Man almost always gets a projectile version, like literally almost always. So you could have where Kirby would, when he sucks somebody up, he would gain a projectile version of their move, like one of their style. Yeah.
Kirby.
Yeah, when Kirby does, he would get a melee version, and Mega Man would get a projectile version. So it would be kind of interesting,
So who's the better copy character? Who's the better character, Kirby or Mega Man?
I would say that Kirby has a better copy ability, solely based on the fact that, like, if you take examples like Smash Bros, or not Smash Bros, but Kirby Superstar, Kirby gets a whole gambit of abilities. Like, he'll suck up Fighter and get, like, 5 moves. While Mega Man strictly is
the boss.
One move. He gets one move.
Okay, other question. If one franchise had to survive and the other one was dying and
would
just get killed off.
Jesus, what are you doing?
You gotta choose one. Mega Man or Kirby?
Which child will I kill?
Which child would you kill? Mega Man or Kirby?
Well,
They say, Sean, hey, Capcom and Nintendo have come and together and they have decided that you're the deciding factor. One of these Kirby fell.
I would have to say that I would pick I would actually pick Mega Man as being the one that would die.
That would die.
I would keep Kirby, and solely based on the fact.
Why would you keep Kirby? Is the shirt influencing you?
No, it's not.
Or is it like Venom? Are you poisoned by it? Like it's a symbiote? It's like I think you've actually merged with the shirt. It's actually part of your. It's flesh.
The reason why I would pick Kirby is because that they've done so many new styles of games with Kirby. They've really branched out. They've taken the Kirby copyability and the Kirby universe and applied it to puzzle games and to these new play styles. And because of that, I'm more thankful for it. Like, nothing's coming between me and my Kirby Dream Course, man. Kirby Putt-Putt Golf. If you were like, hey, we're going to take Kirby and make it into a putt-putt golf game, I'd be like, say what? And now I'm like, I would probably kill somebody if they, for it. So, while Mega Man is amazing, Mega Man is that tried and true.
Kirby's like Play-Doh. Mega Man's like Legos.
Man, that's deep.
Whoa!
Yep.
Oh my god! My mind just got blown by that.
It's fluffy too, so it's Kirby. Is that an ism you're keeping?
I'm just gonna. I would totally give you credit, JK.
We're keeping it.
Kirby's like Play-Doh.
So swing from thy nuts, good sir. Yes. No, it's my Kirby love is just
Mega Man.
Never ending. It's a full well. I'll take the Kirby
Legos. That's just smooth like butter, man.
It is.
That's like smooth like butter on Vaseline on a baby's butt.
It is.
And that's smooth.
Mm-hmm. So
well, I think we have gotten out our PAX load onto the faces of the fine viewers.
Is there any questions in the
yes,
last
questions
wrap-up?
about
Is there
Q&A
questions
session.
about PAX? Your favorite things you like, the favorite things whatever you guys want to know about PAX.
Question 1: should you go? Yes.
Yes, that is an obvious question. Most importantly, because we want to meet all you people. We want to see you.
Oh yeah, which by the way, someone did ask. I did meet at the YouTube meetup. Met a lot of fans. Met
Far Cry Hair.
Oh
no,
no
Far Cry Hair.
Far Cry Hair. It's
DOA 5. No, it was not there.
No DOA 5. No Tecmo to speak of.
How much did the average ticket cost? Well, average. You mean
average?
Like after cost? It was probably like after they
sold.
sold.
Normal tickets were how much?
I think 55 or 65.
Great price.
Great price. You could usually hook it up for around like 120, $100 after.
Yeah.
If you play your cards right.
But this year was actually, I think, a little bit slower. You said like
it was towards the end.
Was not as high as you thought it would have been.
The scalpers really bought a lot, and so they flooded the market. So,
did Brian rub man's nipples? Oh, there was
some nipple rubbing.
That's the least of your worries when it comes to man. Let me tell you, there was.
Everyone was chafed when it was over.
Everyone was chafed.
People that weren't even in there, just all of a sudden they were like, "Whoa!"
I feel a chafing upon my
body. They're all chafed.
And you wouldn't believe it, but he's engaged. After I met him, they were seriously reconsidering the engagement.
Just talking about it. I'm sorry.
Did the expo smell like gamer smell? It was actually
PAX
pretty good.
PAX, you're gonna get more normal gamers.
Yeah.
You don't get as much of the creepers. I don't know if it's about like the fans of Penny Arcade or not, but you get people that I would dare I say bathe regularly. Like I think so.
Brian has illegitimate. I have illegitimate nipple kids.
Nipples. They're just
best downloadable game. Taliban.
God, it's hard to say because a lot of these like the cave will be downloadable. I'm gonna kick it to Monaco with a special runner up for Super Time Force.
Yeah,
so both of those games are gonna be great. So
I'd say, I'm surprised you haven't said anything about the runner.
Bit Trip Runner was amazing. Bit Trip Runner is a great Bit Trip Runner 2.
I'm surprised because that's your thing.
I love Bit Trip. It is in the best way possible more of the same. It is. But it's gotten a great graphical overload, and I got an exclusive copy of the game that I've been playing quite a bit. So I should have some awesome gameplay. That we're going to be able to do.
It'll be great.
So you guys are going to get to see everything on Bit Trip. So
the other thing, be prepared to stay up, which is one of my errors. I tried to do this PAX snack packs because I thought, I'll be so good. Like the expo gets over.
Go ahead.
The expo gets over at 6. I was like, I can do the snack packs. Doesn't happen. With all the events, you're up all day and all night. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you wake up in the morning and it's like, don't expect to get back into bed until like 20 hours later. Your head will not touch the bed.
Well, and you have to you eat your meals based on the calorie content because you're like, I got one meal for the day, so I gotta eat
that was funny. It was
like a 1,200 calorie burrito or
dinner,
something.
And I kind of missed lunch, and then I met Man, and the rest of the day was just like, shot.
Isn't that right? He does need a little bandana.
That's
so.
right.
And a little spear.
What 1 or 2 games do you each look forward to now for the rest of 2012? Did PAX change any of that? Well, I think we kind of, me was Metal Gear Rising, but now I'm looking forward to Project P100.
See, and that's the thing, is I would say that what it did for me was it reminded me that Wii U is real and it is coming this year.
That's unbelievable.
It is.
This year is almost over.
And I have all of those titles, and he wasn't as big impressed with it, but I loved Zombie U a lot. Zombie U was great.
I was impressed with it. I was impressed with it, but you could tell that it was made as a demo for the system. Not that it's not going to be good, but there's just other games that I was more
To be fair,
about.
though, to be fair, and this is a little factoid.
Little factoid.
You know what Ubisoft's first game was? A little game called Zombie. It's spelled with an I. Zombie. This is actually not the first game in the Zombie series.
Oh.
It is Zombie U is actually a whole new game in that series, which I think they really should have played up more. Like, Ubisoft is so committed to this series, this console, that we're willing to bring back what literally put us on the map to begin with. And it was really kind of a wasteland rip.
Right.
Was what it started as.
What game should show me on the Wii U? Project P100. Ninja Gaiden 3, the game we should have gotten originally.
Nintendo Land.
Nintendo Land.
Seriously, it's
and we
gonna
have
be
a
the
new
game you gotta
version
play.
of New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah. Oh man, the troll version.
The Dick version.
It is so much fun. You may have seen in New Super Mario Bros. 2, Wii, I'm sorry, which we're calling New Super Mario World right now because it just sounds good.
Yeah.
But New Super Mario World, you can the fifth player, the person who uses the controller, actually makes platforms. And the most fun thing to do with it is
now, the platformers are supposed to help people. It's like, platform for you to jump on.
Yeah, you actually troll them. Like, troll people with the platform. So you've got, like, a toad, runs across the map, jumps in the air, platform, falls right into the piranha plants.
But the funny thing is, Alex, the guy who was playing with us, was literally like, and you see platforms just like platform.
Proto, I agree with you. I think that he needs to be in Smash Bros. Non-specific action figure from the Iwata Asks.
Yeah.
In Iwata Asks, the series that Iwata does where he talks about games, during the big E3 press conference, Iwata pulls out this really goofy-looking, like, Frankenstein-together action figure, and it became pretty big for the memes.
Yeah.
So, seriously, though, Doug, you gotta play Nintendo Land. It's so much fun.
And again, I could have cared less about Nintendo Land until I actually played it. And that's where PAX succeeds. Mm-hmm. Actually playing the games and actually playing the systems and seeing for yourself what you think of them, which is always the biggest determining factor. And what in our coverage of PAX is what we're going to try to do to our best to give you as close of an idea of what it was like to be there and play it and see it, because it is much different. As far as the gaming climate right now, after going to PAX, I have a whole new view on it.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
It's not as bleak as you guys may think. I mean, a lot of people are really down on the gaming environment right now, but it's just as strong as it ever was.
Last question: what future 3DS games will you look forward to in the rest of 2012 and the next year? Me, Code Princess.
Code of Princess is going to be awesome.
Come on now.
Code of Princess.
Guardian Heroes-esque action on the 3DS, multiplayer. That is the one big game I'm excited for on the 3DS in the near future.
I think one that's going to sneak up on you is the new Paper Mario.
Oh yeah, the new Paper Mario.
Sticker Star, which is actually, I believe, like the second week of October. So it is like just around the corner. And, we got a good chance to see some content on it. And it's looking just as good as all the other ones, though. It really is. So, Tank, man. I am so glad you're talking about that,
Yes.
Talbane. I have been a huge fan of Tank.
We have some video footage on our YouTube channel that you can check out.
Yeah, we just threw up a big thing on it. It is so
But no
awesome.
Tank.
It was, and and it's gonna happen. But I'm telling you, don't overlook it. If you like Earth Defense Force, if you just like,
it's arcade,
if you love battle tanks,
multiplayer, battle tank,
any of them,
power up, it's great. It's great stuff.
One of the cool new features which they've really glossed over with Tank on the Wii U is you're actually gonna be able to play as the bosses. So there's going to literally be able to have this great multiplayer chemistry.
Yeah.
Bravely Default, man, if it came to America this year, it would be. I mean, I'm one of the few people who really loved 4 Heroes of the Light. I thought it was a really good game.
I didn't get a chance to play it.
It was a little simple, but I thought that it was like, it just succeeded on so many levels that it just gets me even more excited. Because Bravely Default seems like almost like Final Fantasy is to Saga, is what 4 Heroes of Light is to Bravely Default.
Okay.
This more fleshed out, more, really involved, and I actually hear very difficult. So it even fits the Saga reference even better. Ninja Gaiden 3, the Wii U version, they retooled the whole game.
Ninja Gaiden 3 on the Wii U, I will tell you, it feels like some guy had it on his desk as the normal version before they dicked around with it. They're like, hey, you still got that disc I could use? Yeah, put that.
The not screwed version?
The not screwed version. They just brought it back.
It will be the definitive version of the game, which is not saying much, but bear with us. It is very really competent now. So,
well,
man, yeah.
We've gotten it out there. Thanks, as always, guys, for joining us. And if you want more information, I mean, the content we've had on it just last week is insane. The content we're going to have the weekend is insane. And then this next week, it's going to be great. So you guys want to hold on for the ride and keep coming back to substancetv.net for continuing coverage of PAX. And give us a follow if you haven't on that good old Twitter at Substance TV.
You'll make Waddle Dee cry if you don't.
Waddle Dee cry. He will stab you with a spear in your...
We're going to get in touch with all of you guys afterwards who won codes.
Yes.
So
we will get in touch with you on your Twitch account.
Yes.
Twitch or Justin.tv. So check your private messages. We'll get in touch with you, and we will get you your codes. So, yes, there is a PM feature on Twitch, which is great. Are you doing the little dance? Yeah, that's great. Great.
Take care, everybody.
All right, guys. See y'all later. And are we coming next week?
We are coming every week.
Why? Like the second it came out of my mouth, I was like, "No, don't do." Oh, you did it.
Yes,
you did it.
We will have a cast next week.
Next week,
where we are going to be showcasing. It'll be another one of our retro casts.
Nice.
And we're going to be showcasing a certain greedy, maybe misunderstood plumber. So,
is he a plumber?
He has to be. They're all plumbers.
Are you sure?
He's got the overalls.
Yeah.
He's a very greedy, misunderstood brother.
Misunderstood brethren to Mario.
And we're gonna talk about
that's not in. Jay, shut up.
You braceleted people. Come on now.
Jeez.
Come on now.
But we will be doing that. So anyway, guys, thanks so much as always.
I agree. Opportunistic con man.
That's right.
And very underrepresented in Mario 2. New Super Mario 2.
Exactly.
So, all right. Good night, everybody.
See ya.